Dun, 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 dun.
Party is a Doubletree if we win.
Partying.
Partying. Yeah.
We good. We live. Look at that beautiful arena that we see just there yonder. North Carolina is currently losing to UCLA. What's going on with the Tar Heels, man?
They suck.
They do suck. You know who doesn't suck? The Kentucky Wildcats, who are set to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes in the CBS Sports Classic. It's been a lot of fun, Stephen. We've been exploring the Big Apple. We've been all over the place. We've been to Bryant Park. We've been to Jack Dempsey's. We've been Times Square. We've hit all of the nice little benchmarks on our touristy trip to the Big Apple. What's been your favorite part so far, Steven?
My favorite part was the Los Tacos #1.
Oh my God.
The tacos #1.
I have never, a place is good when there's a line out the door. There is a waiting area to get in the building.
Yeah.
Because of how typical lines are there. And we show up and there's, a line literally out the door. And you know that if there's a line out the door for tacos, the tacos are going to be pretty darn good. We wait. We have our doubts. We're like, man, are these tacos,
worth it?
Are these tacos really, really, truly going to be worth this long wait? And we're like, yeah, probably. People wouldn't wait this long for tacos if they weren't worthwhile. So we go in. I get 2 carne asada tacos. You got pork. You got a pork and the chicken.
And the chips and salsa was too good.
Oh, man. Spicy. My mouth was on fire, but it was on fire in the best way. So that has been our trip thus far. In terms of the touristy stuff, what's been your favorite part?
Just walking around, seeing all the New York sights and the lights. We walked through Times Square last night. That's always fun. It's so bright. I'm always amazed at at 2 a.m, whatever time it was. It was midnight, and I was like, it's like daylight because of how especially when the screen is white, when it's something white on the screen. What about you?
I enjoyed Bryant Park. Was very cool seeing the skating, seeing all the all that. I feel like we got though, because they advertise free skating on the front door, and you're like, oh sweet, yeah, that sounds awesome. So you think that you're going to show up and be able to just throw on some ice skates and have a good freaking time. And then you show up and it's like, oh, to get into the venue, it's free. But actually, you got to pay $50 for ice skates. You can pay $175 for the premium ice skating experience, Steven. And what does a $175 ice skating experience look like? Even what does that even mean to have?
Do you get to own the ice skates afterwards? Yeah, I don't know how much those are.
How much do normal ice skates cost in general?
Yeah,
for you to rent them for $175. What does that even look like? So it has been an absolute whirlwind for us up here, but we've had a grand old time. But it's a business trip, Stephen. We're here for a reason, and we're here for that reason right there. Madison Square Garden, Kentucky set to take on Ohio State. Let's just call a spade a spade. Ohio State not very good. They're limping in here. They're struggling quite a bit. What's your expectation coming into this one? Because we've had that weird, there's no reason for Kentucky to not win this one running away. But then the opening spread comes out and it's 5.5.
That was surprising.
And you're like, what do they know that we need to know? It does just have that weird vibe, Steve. So what is your expectation and hope going into this one?
I think this is the game where Kentucky could pull away and win by 20. And a lot of these big games, Louisville, Gonzaga, Duke, games have been close, coming down to the wire, and pretty much all 3 of them. So this is the game against a Power 5 team, neutral site. Maybe this is a game where Ohio State doesn't shoot 40% from 3. Maybe they shoot kind of poorly, and Kentucky shoots well enough that they can pull away. I was thinking maybe a 15 to 17 point lead at the under 8 timeout. Let's see if we get to that.
Bruce Thornton and Devin Royal are the headliners there for Ohio State. Two really, really talented. Bruce Thornton, a kind of thicker bowling ball of a guard, and Devin Royal, kind of one of those versatile 6'6", 6'7", kind of like that Chris Livingston vibe, where really good mismatch type of player. Not the best shooter in the world, but definitely can fill it up and can hit you in a couple of different ways. A really, really talented player who just went for 33 and 15 or something ridiculous. So he's definitely the name to keep a very close eye on for the Cats. One name that I personally have a very close eye on, Junie Mobley, the guy who is battling neck and neck right now with Kobe Bryant as the best shooter in college basketball. I have a funny story for our listeners. I was at an event in northern Kentucky watching none other than Sky Clark, who is in this building right now playing. I might go say hi to him, blast from the past. I was watching Sky Clark at an event in northern Kentucky, and Junie Mobley, as an 8th grader, was up there, and his dad came up to me and said, "Guys, I'm telling you right now, this is the next Steph Curry. He's the best shooter to walk the face of the earth." And you hear that from dads all the time. You hear, parents always hype up their kid, and you're like, yeah, the next Steph Curry, just like every play. Freshman in college, playing at Ohio State, he's shooting 54% from three. Truly one of the best shooters in college basketball. So, his dad called a shot there very early, but we've been able to follow him along the way throughout his high school career to get to where he is right now. Going to be one of the names to keep a very close eye on for the Ohio State Buckeyes. But this, the story of Aaron Bradshaw, that's one that I think a lot of Kentucky fans care about personally, because that was a familiar face, a guy that Kentucky fans wanted the most out of. I think, as a fan favorite, Aaron Bradshaw, there's a lot to love about him, but left a lot to be desired as a basketball player in terms of production. Stephen, what are you kind of hoping, assuming he is able to give it a go? I believe Jake Diebler said earlier in the day that they would decide his fate after shoot-around, but it does kind of seem like we're trending toward Aaron Bradshaw making his return and reuniting with the Kentucky Wildcats. What are you kind of hoping to get out of that one?
He's got to be motivated to beat Kentucky. So, that's the thing. What do you think he could I'm not hating on him, but I just felt like we kind of saw that last year, and just be a little physical with him and kind of get him out of his game. This would be the game for him to just go off, though, wouldn't it?
It would be ironic for sure. But you talking to Jake Diebler before the game started at Ohio State, they're concerned about physicality. Definitely one of the worst rebounding teams in college basketball. Said that was a point of emphasis. They have been pretty hamstrung in the front court. Not a ton of size. If Aaron Bradshaw isn't able to give it a go, Sean Stewart is their starting center at 6'9". So you have Andrew Carr at 6'11" and Amari Williams at 7 foot. You have an unbelievable advantage there in the front court in terms of size. So that's where Kentucky is going to beat Ohio State. I know the shooting kind of back and forth is what everybody wants to talk about. They're shooting 41% from three. Really, really impressive shooting team in Ohio State. Kentucky, we know them. I think the perception is they're not shooting it extremely well. The efficiency hasn't been where we want it to be. Mark Pope obviously wanting the volume to be a little bit better, but everybody knows that Kentucky is a good three-point shooting team. Like, nobody's looking at this team going, oh, these guys are some scrubs as shooters. No, you know that this is a very good shooting team. They're kind of just waiting to break out of this slump. We got a little bit of it against Louisville, just didn't get the volume that Mark Pope was looking for, so that he was pretty disappointed in the total number of three-point attempts. It is absolutely ice cold out here. The wind is whipping my face in a way that it's hard to explain how cold this is. So bear with me if my face freezes off as I'm trying to talk through this. But
it is some Kentucky fans as we go around.
Yeah, we're trying. That's another thing I wanted to get to, Stephen. We were a little let down initially with the amount of Kentucky fans that just haven't been here. Or
they're dressing like me because it's so cold. They're wearing like the big coat. We don't see the blue.
That is a good point. I had two on my flight coming in, and then we're walking around the city. Not a ton of Kentucky fans around. And then we go to Jack Dempsey's, Stephen, and it's an absolute madhouse. There we go. Tacos #1, best restaurant I've ever been to in my life. If you are here, please go and see that wait, the waiting area for it.
Outside the door.
That's intentional. They want to scare you away because of that, but I'm telling you, it's worthwhile. Go stand through that line. You will not regret it. But I just did. I don't know. I just thought that the Kentucky fans would be a little bit louder and prouder, and they just, haven't been. I was very impressed with Jack Dempsey's. I thought BBN showed out, got a good CATS, cats chant going, got a good little blue, white. Ooh, this is pretty. I like this quite a bit. Yeah, this is beautiful. But I'm hoping that the turnout is better inside than what we've seen basically everywhere beyond Jack Dempsey's, Stephen. Jack Dempsey's has been awesome, but beyond that, just not a lot. There's so many just normal, tourists here for the Christmas holiday, but not a ton of not a ton of just BBN specifically here for the game, at least that we've seen thus far. I'm hoping it's changed inside.
Ooh, yeah, look at that. The world's most famous arena. That's what I'm thinking, too. I'm thinking there's a lot of Kentucky. Here you go. Here's some Kentucky fans.
Oh, there we go. Where's your Santa hat?
I got it if you want.
Put it on. We need it. For KSR.
Oh, you're KSR?
What's your name?
Jack Pilgrim.
Hi, Jack.
What's up?
Okay. We're big KSR obnoxious.
You're taking away the magic of not having the Santa hat on, though. So we'll hide you.
Because I didn't know how they would, let me in.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm like,
He just took it off.
That's a good point.
Because I wore it for.
Where will this go?
We're live right now.
No, you're not.
You're live right now. So
Not picture, just talking.
You're live on camera right now. What do you have to say? What do you think about the game today?
We're going to win big.
Go Big Blue.
We're going to win big. Go Cats. KSR rocks.
Well, we appreciate that. What do you think of the Mark Pope era? How excited are you to just kind of have events like this and
it's
getting
beyond our wildest dreams. Pope is awesome, and it's the best thing that could have happened to us, and we are so grateful that he came to see us.
Who's your favorite player?
Oh, my gosh. There's too many. I love them all this year. I love them all.
How do you have a favorite player?
I like
It's kind of like picking your favorite kid.
Everybody has a favorite kid, though.
No, they don't.
Jack, who's your favorite?
My two kids are right here. They're 21.
Who's your favorite between the two?
They turned 21 this week.
Together, both of them?
Yeah, they're twins.
We love them.
Awesome.
They go to UK.
Happy birthday.
Awesome. What a way to celebrate 21.
So how do you think the game, Santa, how do you think the game's going to go today?
I think we got a really good chance of doing really well, but we're just getting started because if you look at the analytics, which as Santa, I have to do the analytics because I got to deliver 8 billion people.
True.
So when you're looking at the analytics, you look at our team, we have only played 3 teams in the top 40. And we're 2-1. We play 14 teams in the top 40 the rest of the season. So I think we got a really good shot of doing well against Ohio State because they're really arrogant because they try to appropriate the word "the."
Yeah.
And as Santa, I don't think you should own the word "the." I think that should be a word that everybody has.
I think that's a good point. Who is your favorite player? I know you said it's like deciding between favorite kids. I know you have a favorite kid. I won't tell either of them, but who is your favorite player?
Well, I won't say I have a favorite player, but being Santa and being heavy into analytics, Kobe Brea is got to be a analytics guy long term, but he's got to keep making threes. And you got to make threes.
What is the key to today's game?
Scoring more points than they do.
There it is.
I don't think I can disagree with that.
Nope.
Well, Santa, I know you have a really big week ahead. I'm excited for you. I'm nervous for you. How are you feeling about that? That part of things. I know you got a basketball game to take care of today, but then the next couple of days things are about to get real hectic in the North Pole, if you will.
Well, I think the more important than Christmas is winning this game today. I mean, after we win this game, then we're good, and then we have 8 billion people to deliver gifts to across the world.
Well, we're excited for you. We're very, I hope that goes as well as planned for you, and hope you get a win today before.
So should we have a cheer?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to hear it. All right, you got to lead the charge though. We got to get
slow clap. Slow clap it.
C-A-T-S, cats. Oh, C-A-T-S, cats. Oh, C-A-T-S, cats. Merry Christmas.
There we go. Blue, white, blue, white, blue. Hey, what's up? All right, how we thinking? What's the vibe going into today's game?
I'm extremely confident. I don't love that, but I don't think Ohio State's very good. Very, very confident. As long as Lamont Butler's healthy, Kobe Bryant is throwing in threes, Jackson Robinson does what he does, I think we're going to be A-okay.
Mm-hmm. How about the hometown factor? We got Kobe Bryant coming home. We have Ansley Almanor coming home. Mark Pope grew up here. I feel like we have the hometown edge as well.
Definitely. And, I mean, from what I've seen, I think we're going to take over this arena. Ohio State's, they only care about football today. North Carolina, UCLA, they'll leave after their games. I think it's going to be all blue in there, and I cannot wait.
Who is today's MVP for the Cats?
MVP, I'm going to say Almanor comes off the bench, hits 4 threes.
Whoa. Big day.
There we go. I like it. How long are you in town? When do you leave?
We came here. We were only going to be here through Friday. We extended our trip to come to the game today, and I mean, I've been looking forward to it the whole week. I can't wait.
Oh man, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got T-shirts. Man, look at the crowd gathering. We got a lot of fun, Stephen. I think the excitement is starting to build a little bit. I know we had some concern about how many BBN members would show up, but I think if we're judging by this crowd, I think it's going to be pretty impressive.
Yeah, where do you want to go? Do you want to keep going around that way to make a full lap around it?
Sure, let's keep walking.
I have a Santa hot take.
Okay.
He's got to deliver to 8 billion people. First of all, there's not 8 billion nice people in this world, right?
Are you sure?
At best, like, there's a few people like that. But there's a thing where he delivers the coal. Why? Like, wouldn't it save on time to not do that? Like, just to be a jerk about it? Like, you're getting the coal.
You just get nothing. You wake up disappointed. But I feel like you have to make a point. If you were a naughty child, you have to get it. Like, it has to be known that you were naughty. Like, you can't just wake up with the disappointment of like, man, what if Santa forgot about me? Like, if you're going to be a bad kid, it needs to be known that you're a bad kid. So they're doing it to prove a point.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's a lot to do in one night, and that would just save so much time. But I'll tell you what, I am excited about.
What did you think about him saying that this game was more important than Christmas? I thought that was kind of a hot take for Santa.
That's a pretty big take.
I feel like there is no bigger job of all the movies that I've seen of Santa. I feel like they've been pretty invested in Christmas. So for him to just say Kentucky taking on Ohio State is infinitely more important, I feel like it's a little bit of a hot take.
Yeah, that certainly is, but for me, there's nothing bigger than because I got to exercise some demons from the last time I was here. Once I got here and I looked at Madison Square Garden, it's massive. I mean, it's just.
And I wanted to ask you about that, Stephen, because last time you were here, I remember watching the pregame video, and there was so much to be said about, oh my gosh, BBN has showed out in such a way. If it's any indication of what the crowd looks like outside of this arena, we know that there's, they're going to make a statement inside. BBN showed out, and then the team goes out, scores 52 freaking points.
2 points
against UCLA. Unacceptable
what did UCLA
performance
do that year?
there.
What did they even?
Nothing.
Yeah, and they weren't even good.
No, nothing. So it's like one of those, like, do you want the bad juju? Like, do you want to get rid of the bad juju? We're about to die over here.
We're not on the side.
Do you want to, like, get rid of those demons that we have of, the crowd deciding what the on-court product is going to look like, or do you just say, you know what, I'm glad that, BBN's like been silent but deadly up here,
Yeah, they're like laying low.
Look at what we just saw up there in that little, little courtyard-ish area of Madison Square Garden, where
looks like some Ohio State fans might be a little preoccupied across the street here with this football game.
There's not going to be any Ohio State fans in there, but we haven't seen a ton of them out in the wilderness of New York City. But man, at Jack Dempsey's, boom, we get just packed. A crazy BBN chants, crazy blue-white chants. That was an absolute blast. And then up there, we got the crowd's starting to fill out a little bit. I feel like we're in for a treat once we actually walk into the building. We watched a little bit on TV before we headed over. Not a ton of UNC or UCLA fans, so I feel like we're the only fan base that has a chance of saving this event.
Great point, because without Kentucky, I don't know, is the lower bowl full? I mean, if you're Ohio State's not bringing fans, North Carolina is awful, and then UCLA is on the other side of the country. So, yeah, that's a really good point. Hey, look right over there.
John Calipari.
A quote from John Calipari.
It's the Mecca, the best arena in the world, a very special place that has a lot of great memories.
I thought we were the Mecca.
What is John Calipari's best memory at the Garden?
Oof. Well, it wasn't 2 years ago when they scored 52 points, Jack. They scored 52.
Hey, how many points did they score?
52. For a full 40-minute game, they scored 52 points.
Not at halftime?
No, that wasn't the halftime score. That was the whole game. 40 minutes, they scored 52 points. So they also had a first-round draft pick on the team.
Sano's talking about his...
They had two draft picks on that team.
Sano's talking about his analytics. I don't think 52 points in 40 minutes is very analytically positive, if you will.
No, probably not. But we've had some good memories here. What was the last John Calipari big win in Madison Square Garden? So that'd be the last Kentucky big win here. I'm trying to rack my brain because I'm going through.
What is the last big one? What's the last one? Do we know? Do we remember? I don't think we've won here in 5 years.
Okay, my favorite though, it's because it's the one I can remember.
Do we want to jaywalk on camera right now?
Yeah, I think you can do it as long as you're creating content. I think they're cool with it.
Law enforcement won't mind.
Immediately we go right to the next scene is us in jail. It'd
be worth it.
The UConn game in 2009, John Wall and them, and they jumped out 12-0.
That's definitely the best. That's definitely the best event we've seen here by far.
Yeah, they got up 12-0 and then ended up being close. John Wall had to hit a game-winning and one late in the game. So that's probably one of my favorite memories of the.
That was UConn before UConn was UConn.
Yeah, that was. Well, they were a year away from winning a national title.
From their peak UConn, before they went into their weird hey, we're kind of a blue blood now era.
Yep. And that was a time when Kentucky was at Madison Square Garden with a new coach, and you felt this tournament Final Four feel. We're not going to have that tonight, unfortunately, because Ohio State fans.
I thought you were building up to that.
I was until I realized.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, it's I don't know if that's what we're going to get today. I think it's going to be
more like a home game, probably.
It's going to be a glorified neutral site home game where
think a little bit maybe less people, but the Gonzaga, Kentucky, but reversed. Probably not, because there's not going to be loud Ohio State fans.
How many people are going to be here?
That's a good question, because I don't really know what this capacity is, but it holds a lot of people. I went up last year to the very top just to see what that view is. It's hard. You can barely tell there's a basketball game going on.
And I'm sure that's where our seats are going to be up in the media. I've been here a couple times, and they enjoy sending you to the rafters. It is, there's so much history there, and they want the reporters there to make you feel and touch the
Knicks banners,
the banners up top. The New York Knicks, where national championship or world championships go to die. We're gonna.
How can they never be good?
Is this the year? No, of course not, because it's the Boston Celtics year. It always is. Well, what do we think? I'm ice cold out here.
Yeah, how are your hands?
They're pretty cold. How are your gloves? Did you show off your gloves?
Yeah, these are. I just bought the first gloves I could find. I'm pretty sure these are women's gloves. I'm almost sure of it.
They make your hands look beautiful. I almost got stabbed last time I was out here.
I got right here. Right here. Okay, yeah. Walk me through that story real fast. I'll tell you my story, and then you.
So I walked outside. They walked us out the front door, and I'm standing there. And Sean Smith, sources say co-host, shout out Sean Smith. I was waiting for him out here, and a man very politely came up to me and got way too close and was touching. Very similar to this that we're seeing right now, actually. Imagine that man coming up and talking to me and interacting to me and like touching my shoulder. And my hotel was literally right there. I was a block away from my hotel, and I almost got stabbed on my way out of Madison Square Garden. So hopefully today's experience is a little better. That also resulted in a loss, so not the best experience overall at Madison Square Garden here last time. So hopefully Kentucky is able to walk out of here with a victory. These Kentucky fans that are here, there's nobody else here. I hope the home crowd is leaving very, very happy, and then we can enjoy a nice little Christmassy night here in New York City. We'll celebrate a big win, and we'll go ice skating in Central Park. That sounds like a blast.
That sounds like a blast.
Sound good?
And then the last time I was here, I was sitting over there on these steps right over there, right next, going into the train station, and a gentleman came up and spit right in my face. Right in my face. I didn't know I was doing anything. But somebody asked me, well, did you try to fight him? And I don't know if they've ever been around.
You have the balls to to spit on somebody right in their face. I feel like
you're playing with house money.
I feel like at that point you're like, you just got to cut your losses and be like, I think I'm good. I think I'd rather not and just accept the loss there.
Okay,
so you had to unfortunately accept the loss, and I almost had two nights ago or 2 years ago when I was.
What's going to happen tonight then? What's going to be the story? What's going to be we had a kind of a New York story earlier today, but we might save that one for later. Hopefully it's just us having a good old time and reenacting our Macaulay Culkin, Will Ferrell, and Elf. We can just go reenact some of those funny scenes and just have a grand old time in the Christmas holiday instead of danger or anything else that could come with that. So, Stephen, with that, my hands are frozen solid, so I think it's time to call it a day. Let's get in that
meeting. Let's go in there. Let's beat the hell out of the Buckeyes. Go Cats.